In the flickering shadows of Rome's bustling streets, where the scent of olive oil mingled with the laughter of revelers, a heart-wrenching tale of love and longing unfolded beneath the watchful gaze of the gods. It was the dawn of Lupercalia, a festival steeped in the fervor of fertility and romance, when the air thrummed with the promise of passion. Among the throng of jubilant citizens, two souls found solace in each other amidst the chaos of their world. A patrician maiden, Aurelia, bound by the shackles of an arranged marriage, and Marcus, a humble soldier whose heart beat for her alone. As the city prepared for the day's festivities, Aurelia stood on her balcony, her golden hair cascading like sunlight upon her shoulders. Below, the laughter of her fellow citizens was a distant echo, muffled by the weight of her impending fate. Her father had arranged her marriage to a wealthy senator, a man whose ambition loomed larger than the love she yearned for. Yet, in the depths of her despair, a flicker of hope ignited when a familiar figure emerged from the crowd. Marcus, his tunic stained with the dust of the campaign, but his eyes ablaze with a fervor that spoke of undying love. Their secret trysts beneath the ancient olive trees were whispered promises that defied the rigid constraints of their social standings. With each stolen moment, they crafted letters, inked with passion and sealed with the warmth of their shared dreams. These missives, fraught with longing and eloquent apologies for the world that conspired against them, became their lifeline, a testament to a love that dared to challenge the very fabric of Roman society. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the forum, the shadows of duty loomed ever larger. Would their love withstand the trials of fate? Or would the weight of social expectation crush the tender bond that had blossomed in the heart of ancient Rome? In the intertwining of their destinies, the answer lay not only in the letters they penned but in the courage to defy a world that sought to keep them apart. The power of words in ancient Rome. In the grand tapestry of ancient Rome, where marble columns kissed the heavens and the scent of ripe figs wafted through bustling streets, the written word held an unparalleled power. Among the patricians and plebeians, the art of letter writing flourished, serving not only as a medium for communication but also as a vessel for the heart's deepest sentiments. In a society where love could be as ephemeral as a summer breeze, letters became the lifeline for lovers separated by duty, distance, or the rigid constraints of social class. Indeed, within the folds of these parchment missives lay the essence of human emotion, longing, regret, and a yearning for connection that transcended the barriers of their structured world. Were there apology letters to lovers? The answer is a resounding yes. Some of these poignant apologies have survived the ravages of time, giving us a glimpse into the fragility of love in a world that often favored duty over desire. Here, we delve into a tale that encapsulates the bittersweet nature of love, revealing how words, scrawled in the quiet hours of the night, could ignite passion or soothe a wounded heart. In the dusky glow of a Roman evening, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon and the city erupted in vibrant hues of orange and violet, Claudia sat upon her balcony, her heart heavy with unspoken words. The distant sounds of the forum echoed below, a reminder of the bustling life she was bound to, yet her soul longed for the presence of one who had captured her heart, a soldier named Marcus, whose laughter had once filled the air like sweet music. It was the eve of Lupercalia, the festival of fertility and love, when the streets would be alive with revelry, and the air thick with the scent of sacrifices and perfumed oils. For most, this would be a time of joy, but for Claudia, it was a reminder of the constraints imposed upon her. As a daughter of a wealthy patrician, she had been promised to Lucius, a man of equal standing, whose ambitions would elevate her family's status. Yet, her heart belonged to Marcus, a humble centurion whose valor in battle had earned him respect but not the fortune needed to claim her as his own. Days had turned into weeks since she last heard from him, and with each passing moment, Claudia's anxiety grew. She had witnessed the toll that war took on her beloved through the whispers of the marketplace, tales of skirmishes that left men broken and families shattered. Tonight, she resolved to pour her heart into a letter. A desperate plea for understanding, a heartfelt apology for the silence that had enveloped them both. With trembling fingers, she retrieved a fine piece of papyrus, dipping her quill into dark ink as she began to write. Marcus, my dearest, the gods have conspired against us, it seems, weaving a tapestry of fate that binds my heart in chains of duty. I have tried to silence the echo of your laughter that haunts my dreams, yet I find myself ensnared by memories of our stolen moments beneath the olive trees, where time stood still and the world faded away. As the words flowed from her pen, Claudia's heart raced. She poured forth her regrets about the distance that separated them, the societal expectations that loomed like shadows over their love. She wrote of the impending nuptials with Lucius, of the dread that gripped her at the thought of a life without Marcus by her side. Each stroke of the quill was an act of defiance, a rebellion against the constraints of her station. Meanwhile, across the vast empire, Marcus sat in a dimly lit barracks, his heart heavy with longing. The clash of swords and the stench of sweat surrounded him, yet all he could think of was Claudia. A letter had arrived, bearing the seal of his beloved's family, and as he tore it open, the words danced before his eyes like flames licking at the edges of his resolve. I fear that fate has dealt us a cruel hand, and I am haunted by the thought of a life without you. If the fates allow, I shall find a way to break these bonds that bind me. Tears brimmed in his eyes as he clutched the letter to his chest. He understood the weight of her words. The pain of their separation was an unrelenting ache, a reminder that love, while powerful, was often subjugated by duty and societal expectation. Yet, he knew he must respond, to assure her that his love was unwavering, even in the face of adversity. I will come for you, Claudia, he vowed silently, even if it means defying the very gods themselves. As Lupercalia dawned, the city erupted in celebration, but within the hearts of Claudia and Marcus, a different celebration brewed. A quiet rebellion fueled by love, longing, and the power of words that could bridge any chasm, even those forged by the unforgiving hands of fate. As the moon cast its silvery glow upon the ancient streets of Rome, Aurelia clutched the parchment tightly, her heart racing with each stroke of Marcus's words. The Lupercalia festival buzzed with laughter and revelry, yet her spirit lingered in the shadows, tethered to the weight of an impending marriage to a senator whose affections were as cold as the marble that adorned his villa. Night after night, she found solace in Marcus's letters, each one a lifeline, a whisper of hope that pierced through her gilded cage. Their love, born in the clandestine corners of the Forum, thrived amidst the constraints of their world, an effervescent flame against the oppressive winds of duty and expectation. Meanwhile, across the city, Claudia wrestled with her own heartache, longing for the soldier whose image consumed her thoughts. With trembling hands, she penned her apology, a testament to love unyielding, even in the face of societal scorn. The ink became a vessel of her deepest fears and desires, a bridge across their disparate worlds. In this tapestry of longing and despair, Aurelia and Claudia stood at the crossroads of fate, their hearts echoing the timeless struggle for love amidst the rigid confines of Roman society. Would their devotion withstand the storms of duty and class? As dawn approached, the question lingered, a haunting melody that promised either the sweetness of union or the bitterness of separation, love across social classes. In the grand tapestry of ancient Rome, love wove its intricate threads through the lives of patricians and plebeians alike, often defying the rigid social classes that sought to bind the heart. Amidst the bustling markets and the towering temples, where senators debated and merchants bartered, two souls found their fates entwined. Aurelia, a graceful daughter of a respected patrician, and Marcus, a humble soldier of the legions. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the Forum, where Aurelia often strolled, her silken tunic fluttering like the wings of a dove. Her heart, however, soared not for the suitors who sought her hand in marriage, but for Marcus, whose rugged hands bore the marks of battle and whose eyes sparkled with an earnestness that belied his station. their love blossomed during the festival of Lupercalia, a time when the bounds of decorum loosened, and the spirit of merriment hung in the air like the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Yet, the weight of reality pressed heavily upon them. For Aurelia was promised to a senator's son, a man of ambition and wealth, who would secure her family's status. As she stood before the altar of Venus, the goddess of love, she whispered a prayer for guidance, her heart torn between loyalty to her family and the fervent call of her heart. The festival's revelry faded into the background as she recalled their stolen moments, moonlit meetings in the shadows of the Palatine Hill, where they spoke of dreams and desires, of a world where love could conquer all. But as the days turned into weeks, the specter of her impending marriage loomed closer. In desperation, Marcus penned a letter, the ink barely dry upon the parchment as he poured his heart into the words. Trembling with the fear of losing her. "Dearest Aurelia," he began, the familiar weight of longing pulling at his chest. "As I march upon foreign soil, my thoughts are consumed by you. The battles I face pale in comparison to the war waged within my soul, for each day without you is a victory for despair." The letter, folded with care, found its way into Aurelia's hands, hidden beneath the folds of her tunic. In the quietude of her chamber, she read his words, each line igniting the embers of her resolve. She could feel his presence as if he stood beside her, his breath mingling with hers, the warmth of his affection wrapping around her like a cloak against the chill of uncertainty. Yet, she was acutely aware of the consequences of their union, the scandal that would erupt should their love be discovered. To quell her unease, Aurelia decided to respond, crafting an apology letter, as was customary when one's heart was caught between devotion and duty. "My dearest Marcus," she wrote, the quill shaking in her hand. "Forgive me, for I am bound by the chains of my family's expectations. A marriage awaits me, one that will secure our lineage and honor. Yet, my soul dances to the rhythm of your name, and the thought of you brings both joy and sorrow." Days turned into a cycle of letters exchanged in secrecy, each word a testament to their enduring love, even as the world around them threatened to tear them apart. Marcus, with every battle fought, carried her letters close to his heart, while Aurelia, draped in the finery of her station, wore a mask of compliance at lavish feasts, her heart trembling at the thought of her beloved soldier. As Lupercalia approached once more, the air thick with anticipation, Aurelia made a decision that would change the course of their lives. She would meet Marcus beneath the ancient oaks of the Palatine, where the whispers of the past mingled with the promise of the future. Dressed in the simple garb of a plebeian, she slipped away from her gilded cage, her heart racing with each step. When they met, time seemed to stand still. In the embrace of twilight, they shared a kiss that tasted of longing and resolve. "I cannot bear the thought of you marrying another," Marcus murmured, his brow furrowed with concern. "What can we do?" Aurelia, her voice steady despite her fears, whispered, "We shall forge our own destiny, Marcus. If love is a battlefield, let us fight together." And so, amidst the shadows of ancient Rome, they vowed to seek a path that honored their hearts, even if it meant challenging the very fabric of their society. In that moment, they understood that love, though fraught with obstacles, was a force greater than the sum of their fears. As the stars twinkled above, they stitched their lives together with dreams and letters, binding their hearts across the chasms of class and expectation. A testament to the power of love in a world that sought to keep them apart. In the twilight of the Roman Empire, where the shadows of marble columns loom like the weight of duty upon the hearts of its citizens, love dances on the edge of despair and hope. Aurelia, a radiant daughter of patrician lineage, finds herself ensnared in the gilded cage of her father's ambitions, betrothed to a senator whose wealth far exceeds her affection. Yet, beneath the boughs of ancient olive trees, her heart beats for Marcus, a humble soldier whose valor lies not in gold but in the tenderness he offers her in secret. As the festival of Lupercalia approaches, the air thickens with the scent of ripe figs and the laughter of young lovers. a stark contrast to the sorrow that grips Aurelia's soul. With every stolen moment, their love blossoms, yet the specter of societal expectations looms large. Meanwhile, Claudia, another noblewoman caught in the web of duty, writes a heartfelt apology to Marcus, her words dripping with longing and regret, echoing the anguish of a heart torn between desire and obligation. In a world where letters serve as vessels of emotion, Aurelia and Marcus's poignant exchanges become their lifeline, weaving a tapestry of hope amid despair. Can love truly transcend the shackles of fate? As the sun sinks beneath the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the city, the answer remains tantalizingly out of reach, leaving the heart to ponder the bittersweet nature of love amidst the trials of the Roman world. A window to the heart. In the heart of ancient Rome, where the sun cast golden rays upon the cobbled streets and laughter intertwined with the scent of blooming laurels, there existed a world where love flourished amidst the rigid confines of societal structures. It was a world where letters became vessels for the heart's deepest yearnings, a medium through which the soul could speak when words faltered in person. Calpurnia, a daughter of the illustrious patrician family of Celsus, stood at her window, the cool breeze tousling her dark curls. Her heart was a tempest, torn between duty and desire. She was promised to Lucius, a senator whose ambition shone as brightly as his wealth, yet her soul yearned for another, Marcus, a humble plebeian and a soldier in the legions. Their love, born in the shadows of the Lupercalia festival, had blossomed amidst the laughter of revelers and the aroma of spiced wine. As the moon hung low in the night sky, Calpurnia sat in her chambers, her fingers trembling as she unfolded a letter from Marcus. Each stroke of ink spoke of his longing, weaving tales of their stolen moments beneath the ancient oaks, where the world faded away, leaving only the two of them entwined in whispered promises and dreams of freedom. But as the ink bled across the parchment, it carried more than affection, it bore the weight of separation, for Marcus was stationed far beyond the city's embrace, fighting for the glory of Rome. Calpurnia, the letter began. Each day I wake to the clang of swords and the cries of my brothers in arms, and yet my heart remains tethered to you, as surely as the stars are to the night sky. I find solace only in the thought of your laughter, like music that dances through the chaos of battle. Calpurnia's heart ached at his words. She recalled their last meeting, a secret rendezvous under the cover of twilight, where they shared dreams of a future unmarred by the chains of social class. But the specter of her impending marriage to Lucius loomed large, suffocating her spirit. Days turned into weeks, and as Calpurnia attended the lavish banquets of her betrothed, her mind wandered to Marcus. In the opulence of her father's home, amidst the clinking of goblets and the laughter of nobles, she felt like a specter, an unwilling participant in a game of power that she had not chosen. Behind her painted smile lay an unquenchable thirst for the freedom to love. One fateful evening, Calpurnia summoned her courage, her heart pounding like the drums of war. She sat at her writing desk, quill in hand, determined to express her deepest regrets to Marcus, to apologize for the fate that had conspired against their love. My dearest Marcus, she penned, the chains of duty bind me, yet my heart belongs to you. Forgive me for the path I must tread, for the love we share, though hidden from the eyes of the world, is a flame that cannot be extinguished. As she sealed the letter with wax, a sense of both relief and despair washed over her. The act of writing became a lifeline, a connection to her beloved that transcended the barriers erected by their respective stations. She entrusted the letter to a loyal servant, a silent witness to her heart's turmoil, and watched as he disappeared into the shadows of the night. Days passed, and the sun rose and set, marking the passage of time in a world that seemed indifferent to her pain. Then, one evening, as the golden hues of dusk enveloped the city, a familiar figure appeared at her window. Marcus. Clad in the armor of a soldier, his face bore the marks of battle, yet his eyes sparkled with an intensity that ignited her heart. Calpurnia, he whispered, stepping into the sanctuary of her chamber. I received your letter. Your words were the balm my soul craved in the chaos of war. They embraced, the world outside fading away, for in that moment, they were not bound by class or duty. Only by love's unyielding embrace. Yet, lurking in the shadows was the reality of their situation. The specter of her impending marriage loomed larger than ever. A reminder that their love was a fleeting dream. A candle flickering in the winds of fate. But as they clung to one another, Calpurnia realized that love, in all its forms, was worth fighting for, even if the battle meant defying the very fabric of their society. In ancient Rome, where love was a tapestry woven with threads of longing and sacrifice, Calpurnia and Marcus stood at the precipice of a choice that would change their lives forever. Would they embrace the sweet agony of forbidden love, or yield to the expectations of a world that sought to bind them? The answer lay in their hearts, where the true battle for love raged on, undeterred by the chains of circumstance. In the heart of Rome, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the cobbled streets, Aurelia stood at her window, her heart heavy with the weight of her unfulfilled desires. The air was thick with the scent of blooming violets, a reminder of the festival of Lupercalia, where love and longing danced freely among the revelers. Yet, for her, the laughter of the crowd was but a haunting melody, echoing the chains of an arranged marriage that bound her to a senator she scarcely knew. Across the city, Marcus, a humble soldier with the spirit of a lion, lay beneath the stars in a distant camp, his heart tethered to Aurelia. The clang of swords and the cries of men faded into the background as he penned his thoughts onto a scroll, each word a testament to his unwavering affection. My dearest Aurelia, he wrote, even the mightiest of shields cannot guard my heart against the onslaught of love. I yearn for the day when I may hold you close, unshackled by the chains of our stations. As the festival approached, whispers of forbidden love swirled like the incense in the temples. Claudia, a woman of the same noble blood as Aurelia but bound by her own secret affections for Marcus, penned her own letter, weaving her sorrow into each line. Forgive me, Aurelia, she wrote, for my heart echoes the same longing that resides within you. We are but players in a cruel game, yet love knows no rank, no decree. The night of Lupercalia arrived, the festival ablaze with joy and reckless abandon. Young men, adorned with the skins of goats, raced through the streets, striking women playfully with strips of hide, a custom believed to bless them with fertility. Aurelia, cloaked in her finest tunic, felt the pulse of the celebration but remained an island of solitude amidst the throng. In a moment of boldness, she stepped into the moonlit square, seeking solace from the swirling chaos. As laughter and music enveloped her, she clutched the letter from Marcus, the ink still fresh with his ardor. It was a silent vow, a promise that transcended the constraints of their worlds. Their love, though fraught with peril, flickered like the flames of the torches that illuminated the night. As the revelry reached its zenith, Aurelia's heart beat in time with the distant drums of her destiny. She resolved to break free from the shackles of expectation. With the echoes of Marcus's words lingering in her mind, she whispered a prayer to Venus, the goddess of love, to grant her the courage to defy her fate. In that moment, love emerged not merely as a whisper but as a clarion call. Amidst the cacophony of Lupercalia, Aurelia and Marcus stood as beacons of hope, their hearts entwined in a tapestry of longing and defiance, proving that even in the shadows of societal constraints, love, once kindled, could blaze a path toward freedom. The festival of love and its traditions. In the heart of Rome, beneath the gaze of the twin peaks of the Palatine and Aventine hills, the air thrummed with anticipation as the festival of Lupercalia approached. Men adorned in white tunics and crowned with laurel, women draped in flowing garments, and the scent of freshly cut herbs filled the bustling streets. This festival, steeped in ancient rites, was a celebration of fertility and love, echoing the spirit of the she-wolf that nurtured Romulus and Remus. Yet, amid the revelry, A quieter, more poignant tale unfolded in the shadows of the grand festivities. For Tullia, the daughter of a patrician family, the Lupercalia held a bittersweet allure. Her father had arranged for her to marry a wealthy senator, a man of considerable influence but lacking the passion that ignited her heart. In her dreams, she often found herself entwined in the arms of Marcus, a humble soldier from a lower class. Their love was a delicate flower, blooming in the crevices of a rigid society. Each stolen moment was a testament to their yearning, and each secret letter exchanged was a promise wrapped in hope. As the festival commenced, Tullia's heart raced. The laughter and chants of the Luperci, the priests of Lupercalia, filled her ears as she watched them run through the streets, striking women with strips of goat hide, a symbol of fertility and blessing. She longed to be among them, to lose herself in the fervor of the festival, but her duties and impending marriage loomed heavily upon her. On the eve of Lupercalia, Marcus, cloaked in the darkness of night, slipped through the city's winding alleys to Tullia's window. The moon bathed them in silver light, illuminating the love that dared to defy social boundaries. His voice was a soft murmur, "Tullia, the festival calls to us. Will you not join me in celebration?" Her heart leapt, yet a shadow of fear clouded her joy. "If we are caught, Marcus, my father, let us not dwell on what may come. Instead, let us seize this moment, for what is love if not a fleeting breath against the chains of fate?" His words were a balm to her troubled spirit. Against her better judgment, Tullia nodded, her resolve melting like the wax of a burning candle. She slipped out into the cool night, her heart racing as they disappeared into the throng of revelers. The festival was alive with music, laughter, and the intoxicating scent of spiced wine. As they danced among the crowd, Tullia felt the weight of her impending marriage lift, if only for a night. Marcus's hand found hers, their fingers intertwining like the vines of ivy that clung to the ancient stones of Rome. They spun and twirled, lost in a world where social class and duty faded into the background. Yet, as the festivities continued, the reality of their love pressed upon them like a heavy cloak. Amidst the laughter, Tullia felt a pang of sorrow. She knew that the dawn would bring with it the harsh light of her obligations. As if sensing her turmoil, Marcus pulled her aside, away from the merry chaos. "Tullia, if I were to ask you to forsake all for me, would you?" His gaze was earnest, a mirror to her own longing. "Marcus, you know I cannot, my family. Your heart is not bound by their chains. Write to me," he urged, desperation threading through his voice. "If you cannot come to me, let your words be the lifeline that binds our souls until fate allows us to be together." Tears glistened in Tullia's eyes as she nodded, knowing that her love for him transcended the expectations of her family. "I will write, I promise." As dawn broke and the festival began to wane, they shared one last kiss, a silent vow that echoed against the backdrop of the city that had witnessed their love. Tullia returned to her home, her heart full yet heavy with the knowledge of the trials that lay ahead. In the days that followed, Tullia poured her heart into the letters she sent to Marcus, each one a fragile vessel carrying whispers of her love. They spoke of dreams, of forbidden moments, and the ache of separation. And on the battlefield, as Marcus fought for Rome, he clutched her letters like sacred relics, their words igniting his spirit amidst the chaos of war. Thus, in the heart of ancient Rome, as the sun set over the Tiber, two souls intertwined by love and longing continued to navigate the choppy waters of their reality, forever bound by the written word, even as the world around them sought to keep them apart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets of Rome, Aurelia stood at her window, heart heavy with unspoken words. The city, a labyrinth of marble and shadows, echoed with the laughter of the elite, yet within her, a tempest brewed. She clutched a letter, the ink still fresh, a lifeline to Marcus, the soldier whose heart beat in time with her own amidst the constraints of their birth. Meanwhile, Claudia, cloaked in the fabric of her lineage, gazed at the distant hills, where the scent of wildflowers mingled with her longing. Bound to a betrothal that felt more like a shackle, she penned her sorrows, each stroke of the quill a prayer for the love that felt both achingly close and impossibly far. Lupercalia approached, a festival of freedom and fervor, yet the chains of duty weighed heavily upon her. As the festival unfolded, the streets thrummed with the pulse of the people, celebrating love in its myriad forms. Aurelia and Claudia, each navigating their own labyrinth of desire and obligation, would find themselves at the crossroads of fate. In the flickering torchlight, a moment of truth awaited. Would they dare to defy the edicts of society in pursuit of their heart's deepest yearnings? In the heart of Rome, where love was both a gift and a peril, their stories intertwined, proving that even in a world bound by class and convention, the soul's whisper could not be silenced. As the festival reached its crescendo, the air thick with anticipation, the question loomed. Could love transcend the barriers of society, igniting a flame that would illuminate their shadows forever? Navigating arranged marriages. In the twilight of Lupercalia, as the sun dipped behind the ancient stones of Rome, the city's heart pulsed with celebration. Beneath the laughter and clamor, hidden in the shadows of the jubilant throngs, a far more somber tale unfolded. A tale of love challenged by the unyielding chains of duty and expectation. Lucia, daughter of a prominent patrician, stood at the edge of the forum, her heart fluttering like a captive bird. Clad in a flowing white stola, she was an emblem of the virtues expected of her, a dutiful daughter, poised to fulfill the destiny prescribed by her father. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, a tempest brewed. For her heart belonged not to the wealthy suitor her father had chosen, but to Marcus, a soldier of the legions, of lower birth but noble spirit. As the festivities erupted around her, Lucia's thoughts drifted to the last time she had seen Marcus. They had met in secret beneath the shade of the ancient fig tree, where whispers of love mingled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Marcus had taken her hand, his grip firm yet tender, promising her a world beyond the confines of their stations. One day, my love, he had said, I shall return from the battlefield and claim you as my own. But that promise felt like a distant star now, lost amidst the swirling chaos of Lupercalia. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. You will marry Quintus, and you will do your duty. The thought of a loveless union filled her with despair. She yearned for freedom, for the chance to choose her own path, but the weight of tradition pressed heavily upon her shoulders. In the days that followed, Marcus wrote her letters, each one a lifeline thrown across the chasm that divided their worlds. He poured his heart onto the papyrus, his words a melody that soothed her restless spirit. Lucia, my dearest, the battlefield is a harsh mistress, but your love gives me strength. Each day, I fight not just for Rome, but for the dream of our future together. Yet, these words, so sweet, yet so laden with longing, could not bridge the gap of their social divide. As Lupercalia reached its zenith, chaos enveloped the city. Men ran through the streets, their bodies smeared with the sacrificial blood of goats, the air alive with the cries of revelers. In the midst of this, Lucia found herself at a crossroads. On one side lay the intoxicating allure of a forbidden love, and on the other, the suffocating reality of an arranged marriage. That evening, while the city danced and sang, she slipped away from her father's house, her heart racing. The moonlight guided her through the winding streets, illuminating her path toward the fig tree, a sanctuary of their love. There, under the boughs that had borne witness to their secret exchanges, she found Marcus waiting, his silhouette framed against the silver glow of the moon. Lucia, he whispered, his voice a mixture of relief and urgency. I feared you would not come. I had to see you, she replied, her heart pounding, but what can we do? My father will not allow this union. Marcus stepped closer, his eyes fierce with determination. We must write our own destiny, Lucia. If we cannot be together in this world, then let us carve our names upon the fabric of time with these letters. I shall never cease to fight for you." With trembling hands, she produced a scroll from her satchel, filled with words of love that had poured from her heart in moments of solitude. "Then let these words speak for us," she declared, her voice steady despite the tears that threatened to spill. "Let them be our apology to the gods for defying fate." Together, they exchanged letters, sealing their promises with fervent kisses. Each word they wrote was a defiance against the world that sought to tear them apart. But as dawn broke, the reality of their circumstances loomed larger than ever. Marcus would soon return to the battlefield, and Lucia would be bound to a man she did not love. As they parted, a heavy silence enveloped them. Lucia held tightly to the scrolls, their hearts intertwined through ink and parchment, a testament to a love that dared to defy the very fabric of Roman society. In the face of their trials, they found solace in the knowledge that love, even when forbidden, could flourish in the shadows, an eternal echo of their shared dreams and whispered promises beneath the ancient fig tree. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting a golden hue over the terracotta rooftops of Rome, Aurelia stood by her window, clutching the letter that bore Marcus's familiar scrawl. The sweet scent of blooming roses wafted through the air, yet her heart felt heavy, bound by the chains of duty. Arranged to wed a senator thrice her age, her spirit yearned for the warmth of Marcus's embrace, the soldier whose heart beat in tandem with her own. Each word he penned was a balm to her wounded soul, a reminder that love, though fraught with peril, could flourish even in the shadow of societal constraints. She imagined him, clad in armor, wielding his sword for Rome, yet longing for her amidst the clamor of battle. The Lupercalia festival, with its wild revelries and fleeting freedoms, felt like a distant dream, a testament to the joys they could never share openly. In the quiet of night, she would respond, etching her hopes and fears upon the parchment, knowing that each letter was a thread weaving their fates together, defying the rigid tapestry of their world. Claudia, too, lingered in her thoughts. A woman torn between loyalty and love, reflecting Aurelia's own plight. Together, they were sisters in sorrow, seeking solace in the written word, each letter a declaration that love could indeed transcend the barriers set by birth and fortune. Yet, as the stars twinkled like distant dreams, Aurelia knew the path ahead was treacherous. Would the strength of their love withstand the relentless tides of duty? With a final glance at the parchment, she whispered a prayer to Venus, the goddess of love, hoping that her heart's whisper might yet echo through the ages, reminding the world that true love is an unyielding force, powerful enough to challenge the very foundations of society. Letters from the battlefield, a soldier's longing. Letters from the battlefield. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows over the rugged terrain of Gaul, Marcus felt the weight of his armor pressing heavily against his chest. The din of clashing swords and the anguished cries of his fellow soldiers faded into the background as he withdrew to a quiet corner of the encampment. There, cradled in his weathered hands, was a precious bundle of letters wrapped in a faded silk scarf. Letters from Julia, the woman who had captured his heart amidst the chaos of war. In the flickering light of a nearby fire, he unfolded the first letter, the scent of her perfume still lingering on the parchment. Julia had been promised to Lucius, a wealthy senator, in an arrangement crafted by their families. Yet, their hearts had defied the constraints of societal expectations, igniting a love that flourished in secret. The words danced before his eyes, each line steeped in longing and tenderness. "My dearest Marcus," it began, her elegant script flowing like a gentle stream. "Each day without you feels like an eternity. I yearn for the warmth of your embrace, the sound of your laughter. Lupercalia is upon us, and while the city rejoices, my heart is heavy with the knowledge that I must remain a distant flame in your life, a mere shadow of your memories." The festival of Lupercalia, a time of love and revelry, was celebrated throughout the city of Rome. Couples exchanged tokens of affection, and young men raced through the streets, striking their beloveds with strips of goat hide, believed to bestow fertility and fortune. Yet in the midst of this celebration, Marcus felt the sting of absence. Julia's beauty was the only light in the dark corners of his heart, and he could only imagine her dancing beneath the stars, her laughter echoing through the night while he fought for their future. As he continued to read, the letter unfolded the complexities of their love. I fear for you, my soldier. Each day, I hear tales of battles lost and men who do not return. Know that you are forever in my thoughts, even as I prepare for my wedding to Lucius. My heart remains loyal to you, and I will find a way to honor our bond, even if it is shrouded in secrecy. Marcus clenched his jaw, fury and despair mingling within him. He had always known that Julia's hand was promised to another, an alliance that would strengthen their family's standings in the unforgiving hierarchy of Roman society. Yet, the depth of her love gave him hope, a flickering flame against the bitter winds of fate. In his response, penned under the cover of night, he poured forth his soul. My beloved Julia, the thought of you brings me solace amidst the bloodshed. I will fight tooth and nail for our love, for the day we can be free from society's chains. Until then, I ask only that you hold my heart close, as I hold yours. Each letter was a testament to their devotion, yet each word also bore the weight of impending separation. Marcus could not escape the shadows of war that loomed over them. Days turned into weeks, and their correspondence became a fragile thread connecting two worlds. He fought bravely, yet all his victories felt hollow without her by his side. One fateful evening, amidst the chaos of battle, a messenger arrived, breathless and desperate. Marcus. A letter from home. The parchment bore Julia's seal, and with trembling hands, he tore it open. His heart sank as he read the words that would shatter his world. I am to marry Lucius at dawn. My family has decreed it so. I cannot defy them, yet know this, my love. You are my heart, my soul. If I must walk down that path, I will carry you with me always. Tears burned in his eyes as the weight of despair settled around him like a shroud. He could not bear the thought of losing her, yet he understood the binds of duty that held her captive. As the darkness of night enveloped the battlefield, Marcus found himself torn between the fervor of his love and the brutality of his reality. In the fleeting moments before dawn, as the first light of the new day broke across the horizon, he made a vow. A promise echoed in the silence of his heart. He would fight not only for Rome but for the love that had become his reason for existence. He would return to her, even if it meant challenging the very foundations of their world. For in the heart of a soldier, love was the fiercest battle of all. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting a golden hue over the sprawling city of Rome, Aurelia stood at her window, her heart heavy with unspoken words. The soft rustle of the olive leaves outside whispered secrets of her clandestine love for Marcus, the soldier whose laughter echoed in her dreams. Each letter they exchanged was a sacred promise, a thread woven into the fabric of a love that defied the rigid constraints of their world. Meanwhile, Claudia, her heart entwined with the same soldier, penned her own heartfelt confessions, longing for the warmth of Marcus's embrace amidst the cold expectations of her family's ambitions. In the shadow of looming marriages, both women dared to dream of a future where love reigned supreme over duty and decorum. The festival of Lupercalia approached, a time to celebrate fertility and love, yet their hearts were shrouded in uncertainty. Would fate conspire to keep them apart? Or would the power of their written words summon the courage needed to challenge the chains of societal norms? In this world of echoes and shadows, where love battled against the tides of destiny, Aurelia and Claudia stood at the precipice of a choice that could alter the course of their lives forever. Would they seize the fleeting moments of joy, or would they succumb to the weight of their obligations? As the stars began to twinkle in the deepening sky, the promise of love, both sweet and bitter, lingered in the air, waiting to be written into the annals of history. The emotional weight of apology letters. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows over the rugged terrain of Gaul, Marcus felt the weight of his armor pressing heavily against him. Not just the physical burden of metal and leather, but the emotional weight of the words he had yet to pen. In the distance, the sounds of clashing swords and the cries of men echoed through the valley. Yet all he could hear were the whispers of his heart yearning for Claudia, the woman he had left behind in Rome. Their love had blossomed like the delicate flowers of spring, nurtured in the hidden alcoves of the city, far from the prying eyes of society. Claudia, the daughter of a wealthy patrician, was promised to Lucius, a man of considerable standing, and their impending union loomed over Marcus like a dark cloud. Yet, the flicker of their affection had ignited a fire that no societal constraint could extinguish. Each stolen moment they shared was a rebellion against the expectations of their world. But now, with Marcus fighting on the northern frontier, the weight of his absence pressed heavily on both their hearts. The day before the Lupercalia, a festival celebrated with exuberance and fervor, Marcus had received news of Claudia's impending marriage. The thought of her adorned in the finery of a patrician bride, her eyes shining with joy not for him but for Lucius, twisted like a dagger in his chest. It was an unbearable thought, one that haunted him in the quiet hours of the night. He had resolved to write her a letter that would carry not just his words but his very soul. With trembling hands, he took out a piece of parchment, the quill poised above it. "My beloved Claudia," he began, his heart racing as he wrote. "Though miles and the fury of war separate us, my love for you remains steadfast. I cannot bear the thought of you being wed to another, not when I am still bound to you in spirit." Each line felt like a confession, the weight of his longing seeping into the ink. As he penned his thoughts, memories flooded back, her laughter echoing in the amphitheater, the way her hair danced in the wind, the stolen kisses beneath the moonlight. Their world was one where love was a delicate thread, easily frayed by the expectations of family and status. The patricians viewed marriage as a transaction, a means to cement alliances, while the plebeians struggled for their place beneath the weight of such grandeur. But for Marcus and Claudia, love was a sanctuary, a flame that burned brightly against the harsh realities of their lives. "I am sorry," he continued, the words dropping like stones into the still waters of his heart. "Sorry that I cannot be there to claim you as my own. Sorry that fate has conspired to keep us apart. I wish to be the man you deserve, but I am merely a soldier, bound by duty and honor." The ink began to smudge as his emotions threatened to spill over. He remembered the day they had first met at a festival, the anticipation of Lupercalia buzzing in the air, hearts racing in a dance of fate. He sighed deeply, knowing that this letter might never reach her. The dangers of war were many, and messages could be lost, intercepted by those who would seek to keep them apart. But he had to try. He had to convey the weight of his heart, the depth of his longing. As he sealed the letter with hot wax, he whispered a silent prayer to Venus, the goddess of love, that she might guide his words to Claudia, that she might know he fought not just for Rome, but for the love that sustained him through the darkest hours. As night fell, Marcus tucked the letter into a leather pouch, feeling the warmth of its promise against his chest. He looked to the stars, seeking solace in the knowledge that no matter the distance, their hearts were entwined. The battlefield may be a place of turmoil, but it was also a crucible where true love could be forged, tested by fire yet unbroken. He would continue to fight, not only for his country but for the chance to return to Claudia, to reclaim the love that was rightfully his. In the distance, the sounds of laughter and revelry from the Roman camps reminded him of the life he had left behind, a life he yearned to return to. With resolve, he prepared for the dawn, knowing that each day brought him a step closer to reuniting with the woman who held his heart. A reunion that would be worth every battle fought in her name. As the sun dipped low over the Forum, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets of Rome, Aurelia stood at her window, the delicate parchment cradled in her hands. Each stroke of ink upon the page was a silent whisper of her heart, a testament to the love that defied the rigid chains of her noble birth. The scent of blooming violets wafted through the air, reminiscent of stolen moments spent in the quiet grove where she and Marcus first dared to dream. Yet, the weight of her impending marriage loomed like a storm cloud, dark and oppressive. The laughter of her peers at Lupercalia echoed in her mind, a cruel reminder of the joys she could never partake in. With every letter she penned to Marcus, she felt the boundaries of class and duty tighten around her like a noose. Meanwhile, Claudia, confined by the expectations of her own family, poured her soul into apologies forged in ink. Her love for Marcus was a flame that flickered defiantly against the winds of societal scorn. As she sent her letters, she longed for the day when they could stand together, free from the shackles of rank and obligation. In a world where love was often sacrificed upon the altar of ambition and lineage, Aurelia and Claudia's hearts beat in unison, a melody of hope and rebellion. The future loomed uncertain, yet within the depths of their letters lay the promise of a love that could transcend even the might of Rome itself. Legacy of love and letters in history. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the air turned cool and fragrant with the scent of blooming violets, a reminder of the fleeting nature of love itself. In the heart of ancient Rome, where the Tiber flowed with the whispers of countless stories, the legacy of love was often etched not just in stone but through the delicate strokes of ink upon papyrus. Apology letters, once a mere formality in the grander schemes of politics and power, became vessels of emotion, carrying the weight of longing, regret, and hope across the ages. In the midst of the bustling city, where senators debated and merchants hawked their wares, there existed a world of private affections and hidden desires. Take, for instance, the poignant tale of Livia and Marcus. A love that blossomed amidst the rigid expectations of their societal roles. Livia, a daughter of a patrician family, was promised to a wealthy senator, a man as ambitious as he was cold. Marcus, a soldier of humble origin, was a mere footnote in the grand narrative of Rome's elite, yet his heart beat fiercely for Livia, igniting a flame that defied their class divide. Their love was born in stolen moments. Glances exchanged across crowded forums, the soft brush of hands while gathering flowers at the festival of Lupercalia. It was here, under the watchful eyes of the gods and the revelry of the crowds, that they dared to dream of a future together, a future that seemed as distant as the stars themselves. But with each passing day, the reality of Livia's impending marriage loomed larger, casting a shadow over their secret union. Desperate to bridge the chasm of their worlds, Marcus took to writing. With each letter, he poured his heart onto the page, confessing his love, his fears, and the dreams of a life unshackled from the chains of duty. "My dearest Livia," he wrote, "as the sun rises over the hills of Gaul, I find myself yearning for the warmth of your smile, the sweetness of your laughter. I am but a soldier, yet your love makes me a hero in my own right." These words, laced with vulnerability, became a lifeline in the tumultuous sea of their existence. But letters, as powerful as they were, also bore the weight of risk. Livia would often read Marcus's words in secret, tears tracing the contours of her cheeks as she imagined a life together, far from the gilded cage her family had prepared for her. The fear of discovery gnawed at her heart, for the consequences of their love could mean disgrace, or worse, separation. Yet, the thrill of their connection was intoxicating, a reminder of the humanity that thrived even within the stifling confines of Roman society. As the festival of Lupercalia approached once more, Livia found herself at a crossroads. The night before the celebrations, cloaked in the shadows of her chamber, she penned a letter of her own, a response, a promise, an apology for the life they could not yet share. "My beloved Marcus," she wrote, "with every heartbeat I am bound to you. Yet duty tugs at my soul like a relentless tide. Forgive me, for I am torn between love and obligation. But know this. You're my heart's desire, and I shall carry your spirit with me, always." The letters they exchanged became more than mere words. They solidified their bond, weaving a tapestry of hope that transcended their circumstances. Though the world around them might never accept their love, each parchment served as a testament to their devotion, a legacy that would endure long after their lives had ended. In the broader panorama of history, such letters are rare jewels, offering glimpses into the intimate lives of those who lived under the watchful gaze of Roman gods and societal expectations. They remind us that love, in its myriad forms, is a powerful force, capable of defying the boundaries imposed by class and duty. The apology letters, like Livia's and Marcus's, echo through time, whispers of passion and sorrow that continue to resonate in the hearts of those who dared to love fiercely. Thus, as the sun set on the ancient city, its golden rays fading into the embrace of twilight, the legacy of love, carried through letters, whispered in the dark, and immortalized in the hearts of lovers, remains a testament to what it truly means to connect, to forgive, and to hope. As the sun dipped beyond the horizon, casting a golden hue over the terracotta rooftops of Rome, Aurelia clutched the crumpled parchment in her hand, her heart a tempest of longing and despair. The weight of her impending nuptials to a senator, a union forged in the cold fires of political duty, bore heavily upon her. Yet, nestled within the folds of the letter was Marcus's ink, his words, a lifeline woven with affection and rebellion. In the shadows of the Forum, where the laughter of the Lupercalia festival echoed, Aurelia imagined Marcus, his weathered hands stained with the earth of the battlefield, writing to her beneath the watchful gaze of the gods. Each letter they exchanged was a clandestine promise, a testament to a love that transcended the rigid confines of their worlds. Claudia, too, lingered in the background, her heart aching as she penned her apologies to Marcus, caught in a web of unrequited love and societal expectations. Both women, bound by duty yet yearning for freedom, embodied the struggles faced by lovers in a society that revered lineage over passion. In this fleeting moment, Aurelia dared to dream of an escape, a life where love could flourish unimpeded. With the festival's revelry as her backdrop, she whispered into the twilight, "If only love could carve a path through the stone walls of our lives." As the stars began to twinkle overhead, her resolve hardened. She would fight for her heart, even if it meant defying the very fabric of Roman society.